Was is awesome. Oh man, okay, so I've been meaning to finish those titles, and instead of say when Tiz Was comes up, I was going to put Comicsgate, right? I just love hitting Tiz Was. So you know, as you know, we call this Motzach. We call it Motzach in Israel. It's an abbreviation of Motzei Shabbat. This is the evening after the Sabbath, the Holy Sabbath. I've just come back online. Sabbath is much later now, right? Much later. Starts at about 7 o'clock at night, and so it ends about 8 o'clock, right? It goes up to about 8:30. But sorry, excuse me. During Sabbath, as I mentioned, I'm offline. I'm a rabbi, right? Totally offline. I have no idea what's going on. Anything can happen. I could come back online, and Brie Larson, it has been cast as Obi-Wan Kenobi. It could happen. Crazy things could go down. You do not know what's going to happen when you turn the interwebs back on. Anyway, so I've had a little bit of a peek. It's everything basically okay. But I do take a voyage into the unknown, for me, the unknown, or what happened in the last 24 hours. I normally have people here to hold my hand, metaphorically, and lead me through the voyage of confusion, the valley of confusion, I should say. So tonight we have two fantastic guests. We have one I met one time before, but I got on awfully well with him. And one I've never met before, but I'm awfully excited with me. So this is this is going to be. I say my nipples are tingling with anticipation. I hope yours are too. And if they're not, I bless you that your nipples should tingle with anticipation. It's a very, very pleasant sensation. Anyway, joining us tonight, over from the global frequency, tuning in. It is the one only Nefarious. How are you, sir? Yes. Oh,
good, Rabbi. I'm good. How are you?
So the nipple tingling thing. This is why it's on my mind. Again, on Sabbath you have your family's home. It's really nice actually. Most of the time, most of your family's home, and you have these Sabbath meals. So my kids are older now, so my kids are like 24, 23, and 22, right? Something like that. They're all like grown up, right? And they're still the same squabbling kids, right? So my oldest son, who is taller than his older sister, who's only 9 months older than her. Like, I think, no, 10 months older, right? But he's much taller. We call him, I call her big brother, and it makes her crazy. Anyway, so he was bothering her, right? Like, he always like pokes her. He's an officer in the Israeli military. He's like a high-ranking officer. He genuinely is. And he's like poking her and everything. So anyway, I come back and we're ready to have the Sabbath meal at lunch, and you have to ritually wash your hands and sit down and you say a blessing over wine and everything. So getting everybody to do that, funneling the bloody kids into doing that, takes some time. Anyway, so we finally got that. But as I said, I found a way to stop Reuven bothering you. With my brother, I started tweaking my nipples, like that. And coincidentally, he wasn't on that side of the room. So he wasn't bothering her, and clearly it was working. And then when he came closer, I stopped doing that. And then he said, "Could you say that's not helping?" I'm like, "Well, okay then." And she lived to rue the day. So anyway, that's why that's on my mind. How was your last 24 hours, Mr. Nefarious?
It was good. We had a show last night where we talked to Mike from Trees and Ents, or Fairies and Ents, about Life on Korra, which is doing really well on Indiegogo right now. And then my Life of Korra. It's
Life of Korra. Okay, fine. I thought he has a weird living situation, right? I thought you're breaking me into that. Okay, no, carry on.
So we talked to him, and then my wife made an amazing meal of chicken nuggets and mac and cheese, and I passed the F out because I had
I'm really
a long week.
There. I'm really envious right there, because in the Jewish tradition, if you're Orthodox, you do not mix meat products and milk and dairy products, right? Chicken used to be okay, poultry used to be fine, but there was it's called a gezerah, an additional law, a fence around the law, in case one will come to do the mix of meat, the actual meat and milk. So they forbade poultry as well. I haven't had a cheeseburger since I became religious when I was like 20. Right, I haven't had shrimp I haven't had lobster. Don't even ask me about shiksas, okay? The thing of the past, mate. Thing of the past.
My mom was a shiksa. The Orthodox, you actually have two sets of dishes. One for meats and one for dairy.
Correct.
The whole,
actually,
I believe, like the whole. Four.
You have 4 sets of dishes because you have 2 sets of for meat and milk, right? And then you have 2 sets of meat and milk that you use on Passover that we just had because you can't have the same.
Yeah, it's like the good China versus
it's crazy. Okay, it's like if anybody's thinking converting, you act mine, mate. Okay, no, you can listen. We'll welcome anyone, but there's got to be ways, better ways of getting close to God. Fine. Also joining us in my voyage of discovery. I think we're all going to be different people by the end of this. We have how I want to describe him, the indescribable,
illustrious.
The illustrious that reminds me, one of my favorite Sherlock Holmes adventures is the illustrious client, which turns out to be the Royal Duke who has just passed away, a previous version of it. So there you go. Mike and I'm a massive royalist. My flag is at half mast over the passing of Prince Philip. But anyway, that's an aside. Picking us back up again, we have the inimitable talent of the one and the only Don Chin, whose Beardzzerker is tearing it up in Indiegogo. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Thank you for having me, guys. Good to see you.
I have to say, I like your aquarium. I'm very. Is that a real aquarium or is that a TV screen?
It's a TV screen.
Oh, I was going to say, I was always wondering.
It's very convincing.
Like a really good one.
Thank you. It's pretty
deep
cool.
Fake fish.
Yes.
Okay. Strange thing. This Sabbath, I was talking about the Sabbath, right? So this Sabbath, a neighbor pops by with her. We just got a new puppy called Daisy. She's about 5 months old.
You have a puppy too. What kind of dog is it?
Sorry?
What kind of dog is your puppy?
We don't know. It's a mix between a Pinscher and Dachshund, they say. But basically, we're not sure. Okay, this is one of the topics of conversation. We think this dog was the product of. We think this dog's mother bit of a slut. I think it was a crazy night. Some catnip, more than one dog, and maybe a cat as well. Okay, it got crazy. And this is the hell. But she's very cute. Anyway. So when we got her at the same time, our neighbor got their dog. So our dog's called Daisy, and she's very she's very very. And they got their dog, which is like a big furry ball. It looks like Animal from the Muppets. And he's like brown, and so they call him Choco because you have these little bags of chocolate milk in Israel called Choco, which it's like a cultural thing. You get a little baggie of it, right? And he kind of looks like a bag of Choco, right? They came to visit. So the reason he mentioned deep fake, right? It's so weird. I realized it was the daughter of the family that were there. I realized she didn't look like her mother, but she looked exactly freakishly like she was deep faked of her grandmother who actually lives across the street from us. It freaked me because she just got older and she's in her 20s now, and so you can see what her grown-up face is, right? And so it looked like she was been deep faked in real life. Anyway, sorry, I digress. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I had no idea I would be talking about deep fake dogs this morning.
Well, there you go. They play with each other, Choco and Daisy. They do have a good time.
Yeah, that's nice.
So yeah, again, another aside, because Daisy is a girl, Choco is a boy. So we have a holiday called Purim, which is kind of like, imagine putting
Halloween.
together Halloween and St. Patrick's Day, right? Lots and lots and lots of intense drinking. Halloween and New Year's Eve. Lots and lots of intense drinking and costumes, right? So we're thinking we can dress both these dogs up in prison costumes, and that way Daisy can be Choco's prison bitch because she's literally his bitch.
That's a good bad joke. So there's deepfake software going around the internet right now, and last night Garrett downloaded some, and it takes a picture You might be interested in this, Don. Not that you actually need it. Your animation is spotless and your music is great, but it'll take a picture you've drawn and animate it to sing along to a popular song because of the way that motion capture works. So the software, it's free software. Anyone can go out there and download it.
Oh, I saw that. There's an app for
make one of your characters sing. So we tweeted out our character doing it, and it's uncanny. It's hilarious and a little bit frightening.
Yeah.
I'm if you're new to my channel, I'm reasonably convinced the apocalypse is coming, and the deadline for it is about next 3 weeks. It started next.
I'm really hoping you're wrong, man. I want to put this book out.
Well, again, if nothing happens in the next 3 weeks, we're probably okay. We're 70% clear. And then the 2.5 weeks after that, nothing happens. I would say I'm just bonkers and everything's cool, right? But I'm pretty I'm pretty sure I'm right. Like, okay, here's the reason I'm pretty sure I'm right. Because I made a study of miracles, of miraculous events, right? That you can only tell a miraculous event after the fact. You can't tell it before the fact because nobody can see it coming. Well, you sort of can. This is where I think we are. You know, the Titanic. Normally, when the Titanic leaves Portsmouth, you're going to expect it to get to New York, right? It's going to be very, very. If to say that ship's not going to make it, you're going to be crazy, right? Because you're crazy. Anyway, so the Titanic launches, and the captain says, "God himself cannot sink this ship." Now, if you're a religious guy, you go, I'll get the next boat. I'll be on the next one. Okay, I'll be in the one that God can sink. Okay, I'm getting off this one. You'll be fine. I'm going to be on the, because he's not going to know that boat's going to be hit by an iceberg, right? He's not going to go, no, exactly. It's going to be, and nobody is. Nobody's going to know that. Everything's going to be fine until the second it isn't, right? And I just think that's where we are. I think. And listen, in my timeline is the next 3 weeks because there's all these spiritual things that are happening. But nobody agrees with me. Okay, there's no rabbi in the world that goes, "Oh yeah, he's right." Right? No one agrees with me. Right? No.
The Mayans disagree with you. The Mayans say it already happened, Rabbi.
Well, exactly. Yeah. So there's that. But I'm pretty sure I'm right. However, hopefully I'm wrong. Anyway, nothing happens next 3 weeks. We're pretty cool. Then I will say 2 weeks after that, you can really. Then we're just living in clown reality. You know what? Okay. I'm going to let you speak in a minute. But this is the reality. I realize this is the reality we live in now, right? In fandom, we got used to saying nothing matters, right? Nothing matters. Like, I go, Thor's a woman. Nothing matters. Oh, Captain America's a Nazi. Nothing matters. Like, let's just tear it all up. Oh, look, there's Luke Skywalker drinking milk from a titty. Nothing matters. Yeah. It's like, no, because there's nothing matters, right? Because nothing matters. So that has bled through from fandom into reality. That's the reality we're living in now. Like, I watched the news last week, and Hunter Biden is a victim now. Like, what the hell? And like, Biden's rebuilding the wall. He's got a stripper grandkid. Like, if I was going to tell you that a president of the United States has a stripper grandkid, right? A grandkid from a stripper. And I'm going to let you choose. Is it Donald Trump or is it Joe Biden? You're going to go, well, that's got to be Trump, right? I like the Trump stuff. That's got to be Trump. No, but we live in a clown reality. Like, he's rebuilding the wall. It's kind of like nothing matters. Like, nothing matters. More cages, more kids. Nothing matters, right? That's the reality. It used to be in fandom. It used to be with Star Trek. Now it's in real world. So I'm a bit freaked out. So that's why I think
it's the most powerful force on the planet, man. Entertainment can shape the way people think. It's not just what they think about; it's the way that they think. It's like education, except it's surreptitious. Which is why parody is so important. Why good parody, good satire, helping people think more critically. That's why it's so important.
And that parody is the thing that the weirdos hate the most, right? Because it's the most effective form, and I would say intelligent form of communication. So with that, I'm going to add this to the screen so you can start looking at it. And you know what? Let me just I'll do this as well. 1 second, and then we'll go this one, and where'd it go? There we go. I'll add this to the screen too. So you can see my Indiegogo. Fine. Now let's go back to Beardzzerker. Very good. And let me just go through the chat. There's not so many people want to be on. As undercover trooper, how are you, sir? Hell and shalom. Shalom to you. How are you? By the way, it's Israel Independence Day this week, right? On Wednesday. The day before that, on Tuesday, was it Tuesday, Wednesday, or Wednesday, Thursday? I can't remember. The day before that is our Memorial Day. You know what happens on Memorial Day? This blows my mind. Every fallen soldier, fallen soldier in Israel, right? There is a active duty officer by the grave to like salute it and like say hello to the family or something. To give on. Every freaking grave has an active duty. So blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. Anyway, students of good Bar, how are you doing? Who was the number quitters? How are you, sir? John Chin is here. John Chin is there. John Chin is freaking everywhere. Kamika, how you doing? Crystal Solar, how you doing? Hex Allen Comics, how are you, sir? Hope you're doing very well. He's got a very good book. You should go check that out. Derek Mamanis, how are you? I will reply to you. I saw your email. I'm buddy. My communication this is the best way of me talking to you. Okay, if it's email or Facebook or WhatsApp, I'm slow. And I do apologize. I'm just doing, and I do appreciate everybody reaching out to me. But yeah, I will reply to you. It was a very good idea, if I may say so. And you also sent me a video which I haven't even looked at yet. Paul Priest, how you doing, sir? Oh, it just jumped. Cam, how are you? Built by a proud Oysterman in Belfast, sucked by an Englishman. You are right. That is very true. Iceberg, Goldberg, what's the difference? I said undercover trooper, said wasn't sure, quite sure it wasn't an iceberg. So I said iceberg, Goldberg. Jonathan Cox, how are you? Bristolian Dave, how are you? And Liam Nielsen Chin, he will find us. He will find you. And he will kill you. Just got you glad you missed this. Oh, listen, I would agree with you. We've all been tweaking our nipples, okay, in anticipation. I'm doing right now. My camera's too close. I can't really show you, but I am. That's how excited I am. Tracy Thomas, how are you? Anybody has bought the Rabbi's graphic novels is safe hands here today. There you go. That's it. God will give you protection, divine protection, if you buy my graphic novels. Now, that's a great pick. I can't argue with that. But handing over. Don, tell me, well, actually, before we get to Beardzzerker, how did you end up doing the funny books? Tell me your route into comic books.
Rabbi, I grew up in the 60s, and I gravitated towards comics by means of both newspaper comic strips like Peanuts, BC, things like that. And then my first introduction into comics were mainly funny animal comic books, and Hardy, Charlton.
By the way, there was an incredible, basically porno, like erotic comic book about a cat. Oh, what the hell was that called? Yummy Fur? No, that was something else from Howard Stern. It was, oh man, Omaha
the cat dancer, right?
I mean, that was really good. It was basically pornography, right? But it really was an awesome book. I was really sucked in by it. I mean, yeah, figure my turn. But okay, your work, you work in general, it reminds me of a modern day. What's the guy? Was it Kurtzman? Super Duper Man? Who did Super Duper Man?
Super Duper Man. Is that a Mad Magazine alumni?
It was like, I think it was DC Comics. Like, put the piss out themselves. Super Duper Man.
Really?
But it was. It really reminds me of your work. No, that's not it.
I took a break for about 15 years. So
there it is. 1 second. It's. I'm waiting for the JPEG to open up. Doesn't have his name on it. Yeah, 1 second. I will share this image. Give me a second. Just trying to download it.
Critical
I mean, this
Blast,
stuff's like really famous. I just can't remember who did it.
All right. Critical Blast said that on a tweet that when I was going to be on your show, if we could handle that much energy, and I had no idea how much energy you have. It's amazing.
So yeah, you remind me of this guy. Have you never heard of him? Who is this? Kurtzman? I can't remember.
This looks like it's from like the old maybe EC Mad type.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but it's got an irreverent love of the thing that you're taking the piss out of. Like, okay. I get that you really, really love this book, right? That you just kind of love. You're not. You know, the problem with humor nowadays, especially like I would say social justice warrior humor, it's all spiteful. This is very loving, right? I feel like much love towards Keanu Reeves rather than like I can't stand him. It was like, oh, this is just a fun guy.
Yeah,
I think there's no malice in it. I don't think there's malice.
Exactly,
I don't know if Don Shin loves it per se. I don't know. Did you love X-Force when you did X-Force? Like, was X-Force a comic that you read and really appreciated?
I liked Rob Liefeld's art, and I know he's a little, he's either you love him or you hate him, but I think, he was very good at making the characters larger than life, and I can't say that I loved X-Force. I just saw an opportunity to make a parody that was going to sell a lot of comic books back in the day.
And that's the thing that you're hitting here with Beardzzerker, because of its incredible popularity, its timeliness, the fact that it's in the collective unconscious or just the cultural awareness.
Yeah, it's like
really seizing on that.
Keanu Reeves. It really is. Have you shared the sound?
Play the trailer.
Sure.
The trailer's fantastic. I love the trailer.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and I think I clicked the sound button. If not, I'm sure you guys will let me know.
I'm sure.
Actually, Rabbi, in that Super Duper Man panel that you showed me, I actually saw Wally Wood's name as the creator.
Oh, there you go. I think you're right. I think that you're sparking connection in my adult memory right there.
His son-in-law actually did some work for me back in the fanzine days in the 80s. So small world. Okay, so here we go. There's Beardzzerker.
Comics are totally awesome. And I'm totally awesome too. Beardzzerker has everything you want from a comic book. It's got great drawings, colors, great story. It's got great action, has a little romance, and it's about something. Not just any something. It's a parody of some thing. And I was like, well, I used to collect and I love comic books. And they were like, so, did you ever want to make a comic book? And I was like, yeah. And then Parody Press was like, oh, yeah. So they made a comic book that's a parody of my comic book. And it will probably be pretty hilarious, because that's what a parody is. Or at least what it's supposed to be. This idea of kind of like a rock and roll warrior, someone in an altered state, someone with a big guitar axe, and a pet cat that's from the hood, just out of control. Speaking of out of control, there's his beard. It gets bigger and longer throughout the book until it takes on a fantastical life of its own. It's like, whoa! So check it out. If you do, I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed making it. But honestly, I didn't really do that much, other than rambling on about comics and books. I mean, comic books. Wait, what was I saying? Oh well. Enjoy! Beardzzerker from Parody Press. Back at today!
It's awesome. How many pages is it?
Thank you, Rabbi. What was the question?
How many pages is it?
This is a 32-page full-color book, no ads. Right. And I actually created a special featured tier for your viewers today.
Okay. I like this. What's in my pack, baby?
I have a Rabbi from Another Planet pack going on for probably for a 24-hour period starting today. And so what you're going to get is all 6 variant covers, which I'm going to show you in just a moment. Normally these are $15 each. So you would normally be paying $90 plus shipping, but to kind of take the brunt out of any foreign shipping charges, I knocked it down to $69. And so
I'll tell you, 69,
Nice.
one of my favorite numbers. Absolutely one of my favorite.
Nice.
Actually, I have to tell you, I really like the 6. The 6, awesome. I love the 6 more than the 9. Fair. I can take it or leave it. I don't mind the. I mean, I kind of like. I would do the 9 to get to the 6, but the 6 is the one which I think is the way. The magic number there. But anyway, 69. Good to hear. Carry on.
Okay, so Rabbi, what you can see by the trailer is that we're making fun of Keanu's Beardzzerker. I get these confused all the time. And then, we're poking fun at Keanu's movie career. So most notably the Bill and Ted movies, The Matrix, John Wick, and there's a little bit.
Has he seen this?
Actually, Boom Studios has seen it. The publisher Ross Ritchie, according to a mutual friend of mine, thinks it's pretty funny.
I mean, listen, I think he would like it, right? I think he's not. I think he's. Listen, this might be the bullshit personality he puts out. He's not really like this in real life. But I think he's self-deprecating enough to go, this is fun. This is fun. Wouldn't it be great if you could get him to endorse this? Wouldn't that be incredible?
I think he's a cool guy in real life. I'm pretty sure he's laid back enough to appreciate it.
It will be, at first, you'll make 50 grand without blinking. Yeah, we're up for that.
That was the whole point.
Secondly, but it'll be great. It'll be great. If there's any way, anybody in the chat, anybody who knows anybody who can get this in contact with him, wouldn't that be funny? That'll be a real success story. I think we should try that. Maybe we should try the hashtag or something. We should all. I don't know. We should try it. There's got to be a way to think about that.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't had the guts to tag Boom Studios quite so.
I wouldn't tag Boom Studio. I'll tag Keanu Reeves. I wouldn't tag anybody legal. I would tag him in his fan account or whatever, his account. Right.
Okay. That's the thing, Don. There's no malice in it. I personally cannot detect a drop of malice. This is all celebratory parody. So he's cool enough of a guy to recognize that. He's worked in.
You're right. I think so too.
I think so. So let me just kind of go through. How much time would you like me to?
As much as you like, baby.
Okay. Go for it.
We're freeform.
Okay, so what you see here is a really nice pinup piece that Jim O'Reilly just turned into me in the last week, and I loved it.
Nice, I like it.
I said, let's get this front and center on the campaign. Jim, if I would have known about his quality a few months ago, I'm sure I would have made this a variant cover, and it still might be if we can hit our stretch goals. But for now, I told him, this is definitely a pinup, if not a back cover on the book, because I just think he did a great job. And if you can't tell, it's kind of a homage to the original Bill and Ted.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in there.
Okay, so some of the covers that I'm going to show you.
I like that one.
Yeah, this is actually another pinup page by Bill Mouse, who's our primary interior exterior artist, and he is being colored here by Stefani Renee, who's also a very talented comic book artist in his own right. So he did this piece for us last fall. So this is just showing you some of the first few pages of the book. We kind of take it's a lot like that sample you showed us, Rabbi.
Right. It's that just fun comics.
Right. Super duper man, old school mad. I didn't get to finish, but one of my first published breaks in comics was in the early 80s with Cracked magazine, which was kind of
really? I remember Crack. That was fun.
Yeah, it's kind of a sister, the ugly sister to Mad magazine.
PD Rich, thank you so much for all the links in the chat. Also, the links are in the video notes for everything.
One of the things that Beardzzerker has to try to figure out in 2021 is there's been an outbreak of a horrible Rick Astley earworm, and so nobody's been able to get anything done except in Germany, because Rick Astley is making people zombies. People are just basically singing his music, and they're not able to function.
It could happen. It could happen.
It could happen. Yeah. So that's kind of my spoof on the whole coronavirus pandemic, is having an earworm. So here you see Beardzzerker woken from his 30-year plus coma, and he has basically been programmed for the last 30 years to be the ultimate combat machine, via downloads into his body. So he's got the mentality of a high school teenager, but he's got the body of, like basically a buffed out Keanu Reeves Berserker character.
The Norse god.
Yes.
It sounds like what's the name? What's that movie? Demolition Man. I like Demolition Man.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's a good analogy. Good movie. And so his powerful weapon is called the Shredder, which is an axe that was given to him by Genghis Khan, but it's also a guitar. And so it's powered by the rock gods such as ZZ Top, Eddie Van Halen, Slash. So
I can't remember, but it was either Twisted Sister or ZZ Top. I think it was ZZ Top was the first concert I went to.
Oh, really?
Pretty sure ZZ Top.
Well, ZZ Top would have the beards, and then
I know who they. I know who they are. They do, but it was like it's a long time. Look, you're about my age. It looks like it was a long time ago for you too. Like you first got
MTV. Like, did you grow up with MTV?
I was a little bit even before MTV. I mean, I was like the 80s. The 80s. MTV came in like the mid 80s, right?
Right. We're probably about.
So I was like, I was born in 71, so my 12-year-old years were like 83.
I'm about 10 years, about 12 years older than you are.
But in so much better shape. I'm going to die so much earlier than you. It's incredible. Look at you. Yeah, this is the man. One second. Let me just zoom in for a second. This is a man who's had a good life. Okay, look at this man. Look at this man. He's lived well. He's lived well. This man's had a good life, but he's lived bad. He's lived bad.
It's I don't. Unfortunately, I'm allergic to alcohol, so that's probably.
Oh, that'll do the trick. Yeah. That shaved a good 40 years off my life. But let's face it. What was I going to do?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So Rabbi and Nefarious, this is one of the first covers here, is by the amazing Kenan White. This is colored by Matt Yackey, who does a lot of work with Rob Liefeld and Dan Fraga.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've got a lot of names on this book that I recognize. Stefani Renee, Kenan White, Matt Yackey. You've got a cover by Billy Tucci. I mean, so there are a lot of people really backing this book up that have reputations of both in comic books as a whole, but definitely within the indie crowdfunding scene. And that's really nice to see that so many personalities really are backing you up here.
Thank you. I'm really excited. Let
me ask you. I'm running my first campaign right now. I'm learning as I'm going. How do you get big names in the community to? I hate to use the word community, but big names that are around there to do. I mean, obviously you pay them. I mean, I understand that, but even getting in contact, is it just you go looking for commissions?
Well, I actually knew Ethan way back in the 90s because he had a couple of friends of his, Trent and Matt Martin, who had done some work for my Entity Comics imprint back in the day. And Ethan actually drew a variant cover for one of our spoof comics called The Skunk. So I had known Ethan since the 90s. And then, some people in CG knew that we were going to do a Hamsters Cyberfrog crossover last year. But when Dynamite and Ethan kind of had a falling out, that project got the axe. So I was scheduled to do a one-shot 40-page Cyberfrog Hamsters crossover, which I wrote, and then unfortunately things happened and it got.
Just for people that don't know, that's the adolescent radioactive black belt hamsters.
Yes, yeah? Thank you. Thanks, Nefarious. So
for those of you who don't know, it's a Ninja Turtles parody that it's quite. I think someone in the chat. Liam Neeson Chin just mentioned he found a couple number ones in his box. So they're out there, people. Go check them out.
Yeah, that sold really.
So the Hamsters, that was your book?
Yeah, I did that. That was my
Wow, I know. I remember that book. I can't
Don Chin, baby.
Rabbi. If you make me big, I'll point out my little.
One second.
See, right?
Oh, there you go. Like, how did I miss that? That's huge.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're what we call a narcissist who only thinks about themselves. So now I know. Oh, wow, it's very good.
Yeah.
I love that book. So what year was that? That was like
86.
That was like the 90s, wasn't it?
86.
Hey, wow, I'm totally wrong.
Yeah, so I'm kind of I go way back. It was like Cracked, and then Hamsters was kind of my first big break in the 80s, and we sold, worldwide probably 500,000 copies.
Yeah, because I worked in London at the time at a place called Forbidden Planet, which was, he had about 3 or 4 comic book shops. We definitely got it in. I remember it going in. I remember it selling.
That's great. Yeah,
we did. It was a thing. It was a thing.
Yeah, we have pretty much a kind of a loyal cult following on that book. And of course, it was a Ninja Turtles parody. And I owned a comic book store back in the day, in the 80s as well. So that's kind of how I found out about the Turtles. So anyways, yeah, the Hamsters thing, unfortunately, it's kind of on the back burner right now. But I would love to, maybe someday Ethan and Nick can.
Have you been on Ethan's channel to like promote this book or X-Files?
I have not been on Ethan's channel, which is it's okay. I mean, he's got, he's a busy guy, but he was nice enough to let me use. Well, I'll show you in just a moment. So let me kind of scroll down. So that's Kanan's cover.
By the way, I haven't either.
Yeah, he's a good guy, but he's been very very receptive to any requests. So this is the She cover that Billy Tucci let us permission to use his character, but it's drawn by Bill Mouse. So Bill Tucci approved this, and we're going to be on his Pop XP channel, I think next week, promoting it. Nice. And so we're going to have
I like it. I like that you got She in the same style as Keanu.
Good. Thank you. So we're going to have a fan vote. There's 2 different captions for the She cover. There's the one where the ninja is saying, "Holy she," and then there's another one where the kind of a Batman looking character in the dog pile is saying, what is she doing here? So
let me go back to the first one. Let me look at can I AB it? Show me the first one again.
I think this is the one that most people are going to vote on, just from verbal. Yeah,
I'm going with version 1.
Holy shit!
That's more of a cover.
Yeah,
I like that.
The
other one is more of an opening page, right?
Yeah.
This is a splash page. That's a cover.
Thank you. So we're really excited. Thank you, Billy Tucci, for letting us use. I think, did I answer the question? I just basically reached out to both Ethan and Billy because I'm not a newcomer to the game, and I think they knew that I wasn't going to portray their characters in a bad light. So they trusted me, and we had to go through approvals, on sketches and pencils and inks and so forth. But this is the one I think really knocked it out of the park, which is
Preston. This is fantastic. Who did this? This wasn't Ethan, was it?
This is Preston Azevedo painting.
There's no one like Preston that can do a Frazetta style homage. I mean, his work on Cryptid Knolls, he's great, and this totally nails it with Rainbow the Brute in the background and riding Keanu the cat like Battle Cat from He-Man. This is just so good.
Yeah, if you Google Nefarious, if you Google Frazetta's Death Dealer, this is what Preston is kind of.
Yep, he's on the horse with the orange background, and
right.
We actually, I'm gonna leak it. We hired Preston to do a cover for our book too because he's just that great for style.
He's so good, and I asked Ethan, can we use Rainbow, and he agreed. And I thought, oh, how am I going to have them fight each other? Because Rainbow's only like 6 inches tall.
6 feet tall, yeah.
Beardzzerker like 6, feet plus tall. It would be very lopsided. But Preston said, I got an idea. And so this is basically a what if they fought. Well, Rainbow wins and he gets to adopt Keanu, the cat. So Preston, you're awesome. Thank you so much. This is
I just want to answer PD Rich. This was in the days before New Oxford Street. That's in Denmark Street, which was this little tiny shop around the corner. You had to go down. Okay, basically just so you know, you got out Tottenham Court Road station, and then if you go out of it, right, you go down the street, then you can make a left into this teeny tiny side street and get to the Forbidden Planet bookshop, or you made a right into the teeny tiny high street, and you got to a bunch of prostitutes. All right, that was basically it. That was the kind of like real estate they had. So there you go.
I think I used to see Forbidden Planet ads in UK comics that I used to carry.
The Brian Boland one was famous. People like us shop at Forbidden Planet.
Yeah, I think when I had my store in the 80s, Rabbi, 2000 AD was an import, like a.
Oh yeah, still going strong. It's still pretty good today, 2000 AD.
Yeah, that I really got introduced to Judge Dredd and that type of book back in the day from that publication. So I'm a huge Boland fan, and Kevin O'Neill. I think that's another guy from.
Oh yeah, Kevin O'Neill. Well, yeah, did the. He went. Okay, his first job was called an art bodger, and one of his first jobs was erasing the signatures from artists from their work in the pre-2000 AD days. So he was very happy to be the guy who designed the credit card for that. That was one of the revolutionary things where they credited the artist and the writer in 2000 AD as well. That was the first publication to do it, I believe, in the UK.
Wow.
Anyway.
Not to derail us, but Don, you might actually really like the Rabbi's book also, because it's kind of homage to that whole style of entertainment. He's got some pinups that reference Judge Dredd and the 2000 AD stuff. So the two of you might really get off on each other's work.
I saw that, and the biblical thing too. You know, I'm a man of faith, and when I saw that he's doing this, it was very, very interesting to me. So I'm gonna definitely give Rabbi's books a hard look, and I'm sure I'll probably wind up backing them.
Listen, I cannot discourage you from that.
You're doing good. Your campaign is, it seems like it's
yeah. So here's the thing. I want to close it out soon because I want to fulfill it. Because I got my next campaign ready to go, and then I don't know. I got 1 or 2 books I'm doing for my third campaign, which I got to work out a way of like getting enough people and doing a vote, because I might do a James Bond book, the one I told the Ferris about when I was in this book, or I might do a Superman book. James Bond is appealing because it's like it'll come out as the movie comes out. And so I think it's going to be awful. Although it might be great, I can't tell. Here's the weird thing about the new James Bond movie. Everything they say makes it sound like it's the worst movie ever. Like it's like James Bond talking about tampons. No, stop with that. We don't want any of that. No, like James Bond shouldn't be like a tall, black, masculine-looking woman. That's weird. We don't like that, right? So everything I hear about it, everything I see about it looks freaking awesome. It's James Bond driving for cars through mountains. Yes, everything I see looks great. So we don't know. We don't know. I'm scared to even ask. I'm scared to see.
Who is your favorite Bond?
That's a good question. I like Pierce Brosnan, but he's very cartoon superhero-y, right? He's very but his love for the role, he adores playing James Bond, right? So in my Bond book, it's basically Pierce Brosnan as he is today, right? And what him at that age, like in his 60s.
I grew up with GoldenEye. So for me, it's always been Pierce Brosnan. I grew up with the video game that kind of like shaped my FPS experience when I was a kid. So hands down, it's been Pierce Brosnan. But my favorite Bond has still got to be Sean Connery. I got to go with Sean Connery as like in the movies, my favorite. He's got such personality.
Although, you know, I have to tell you, I go through phases of liking different ones. Like I went through a phase of really, I'm kind of still there now, of really enjoying Roger Moore's ones, especially.
Well, that's if you're being a purist, you know. If you're being a James Bond purist, you love Roger Moore's portrayal, you know, because he's very straightforward.
It's silly. I love it. There's so much fun, those movies, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's. But
that's the problem. I think right now,
what
what we're seeing with entertainment is that it's losing its fun. People don't remember how fun entertainment used to be. Like, Rabbi, you nailed it. You said the Roger Moore, Sean Connery, Pierce Brosnan, they all used to be fun. John, your book is fun. Rabbi, your book is fun. You look at what's in the mainstream right now, it's not
Nothing is fun. It's all grim. No, that's coming out tomorrow, Stephen. Again, that's one of the stories I saw. Again, I'm hoping the apocalypse is coming in the next 3 weeks. That way we don't get to see Star Trek Discovery Season 4.
No, right? I want Don's book!
The first thing, the apocalypse isn't going to be. I don't think it's going to be what we think it is, right? I don't think it's going to be like from what's that movie? I really like that movie. This Is the End. Even though I really love that movie, I don't think we're looking at a rapture thing. I think we're looking at a complete breakdown of Western civilization.
Changing the way things are. You know, the end of the world as we know it. I'll be all right with that. I just don't want fire from the sky and destruction of the planet. This stuff I haven't done.
Okay, so look, my analogy is this. Okay, Don, you're a religious guy. I can talk like this in front of you. So my analogy is this, right? When the Israelites left Egypt, you had the 10 plagues, right? That wasn't as weird as it seems to us, because that lived in the world where magic existed. We have this tradition in Judaism that magic as a force went out the world about, 2,300 years ago, right? When they had this idea of entombing the negative desire for idolatry. It used to be, if you did idolatry, most of the Bible, the Old Testament, is a polemic against idolatry, because most of the time, if you did idolatry, it worked. If you sacrificed an idol, you would get what you wanted, right? And sometimes what you wanted is the difference between life and death. So, like, idolatry was incredibly seductive because it got you what you wanted. So they took the desire for that out of the world, the power of that out of the world, but the power of magic went with it, right? So then nobody could do real magic anymore. So that went great. Yeah. So that went great. Next day they said, let's get the desire for sexual impropriety out of the world, right? Let's do that. So they did that, and then they found that nobody had any push to do anything. The chickens wouldn't lay any eggs. Men wouldn't get up and work or pray. Nobody really cared, right? It was kind of like the episode of Star Trek where Kirk split into his good and bad half, and his good half really doesn't have the energy to do anything, right? It's kind of that sort of thing. So they let that one back in the world, but they kept the idolatry one hidden. So anyway, the world of the miracle of the 10 plagues, the plagues themselves weren't as out of the ordinary thing. It was only when they got to, I think, lice, where the necromancers of Egypt said, yeah, no, this is supernatural. We can't do this. This is the hand of God. Right, and it was only at that point. So I think whatever's going to happen is going to happen in a naturalistic way, but it'll be so intense that no one think how intense it would have to be, right? But it will be so intense that most people will go, "This is the hand of God," right? So I don't know what's going to happen. Again, the guy getting on the Titanic didn't know what's going to happen, right? I don't know. And there's a good chance I'm wrong, but I think something's going to go down, right? It's this, and also we're in this time of the year where like realities kind of shift. This is all Kabbalistic stuff. Like this week, you have for the Sabbath, you have a tradition of having 2 loaves of bread with each meal. So this week, a lot of people have the custom of making them in the shape of a key. The reason you're making them in the shape of a key is because your bread is analogous to one's income, right? One's physical reality, one's physicality. And this is a week where the key to that door opens spiritually. You create this world in basically in the Jewish New Year in the September time, and it gestates, and it's just kind of born now, right? And this month, which is just coming in, this is when that reality shifts. So that's why you have that shape of the key. So you have that in mind, right? So some people hate the key thing, but anyway, that is, and we're in this like 50-day period, which is like which goes from Passover to Shavuot, which is the Israelites arriving at Mount Sinai and getting the Bible, right? The revelation at Sinai. So this is a time of like incredible like spiritual growth. There's potential there to build into anything. Then there's two very important dates within this. There's Yom Yerushalayim and Yom Ha'atzmaut, but that can only happen because of these days. Anyway, we're in this time zone right now. It reaches a kind of pinnacle in about 3 weeks. And if nothing's happened by then, if it doesn't look like anything's happening then, probably nothing's going to happen. But if anything was going to happen, it would be freaking then, right? What do you want me to tell you? It's like, it would be then. I don't want to tell you. So, this is no prophecy. This is just me like saying, well, I study miracles, right? So this is what miracles look like before they happen normally. That's where I am.
Does Beardzzerker save the world, Don?
He does help contribute to that. And I just want to add to Rabbi's thoughts that, my wife is kind of tuned into the spiritual things and the world events. And she senses this as well, that there's some events that are coming that will be pretty awakening and cause a lot of shock and awe. But I think the ultimate thing to remember is that if you have a faith, to just trust God and that He's in control.
You're
and
so right.
The most important thing is not to panic, but just be ready. And if you are a person of faith, I think God would want us to comfort those that are going to be kind of taken for a loop. And I do think 2021 is going to have, and 2020 was really bad, but 2021, I do think that something is coming, Rabbi. So I don't know either.
I mean, listen.
I called it at the beginning of the year. I said 2021 is going to be worse.
Huddling our homes because of a disease, of the worldwide pandemic. That's like biblical stuff. Listen, I would say to clarify your wife's vision, buy her a cup of coffee. Buy her a cup of coffee today. Would be my advice.
We were on Mandy Summer's show, and we got a couple contributors to her coffee fund. So that was really fun. So, Rabbi, I did want to say that the other covers that we have in the I'll go back down real quick here.
Let's have a look.
I showed you Rainbow. This is by the incredible Dax. I found him on Comic Mark's Not Daredevil campaign.
Wait, who did this?
This is by Dax Martian. I think he's working on Hail Salad.
Yeah. I've seen his work. It's nice. It's nice. I have this Superman book. I want to snag him for because I get different. I want to do Superman, but have the narrative change as we go through it to be different eras of Superman. But that's like the narrative still continues. But yeah, I do like his work. I want to snag him for that. So anyway, carry on.
That's Dax, and then a really talented artist who worked on X-Verse named Thad Rhodes. He does a kind of a movie poster. Oh my!
Yeah, totally nails it. Listen, I'm glad that you got all these books in the Rabbi pack, right? Because it's impossible to choose. I'm not blowing smoke. They're all freaking brilliant. They're all brilliant, and they're all great in their own right, right?
When we backed, we got all the covers. You can't pass up any of these covers. That's kind of the whole point here. Yeah, Beardzzerker is exciting. It's going to be a great story. It's going to be a great parody. But the really exciting thing for me was all of the talent you brought in on this campaign and all of the people who are willing to, in their own way, contribute to the canon, the lore behind Beardzzerker. So really lowering the price so that all the Rabbi's followers can take advantage of that, man. That's 100% the way to go.
Thanks, Nefarious.
It's just I just like how much fun this whole. It's like a party, right? Yeah, and I think you want every part of it, right? It's like
exactly.
I really enjoy the covers. Sorry, please continue.
Okay, thank you. My wife actually designed the poster, like the logo and so forth. But Keith Gleason, who's an Alterna Comics creator for the Mighty Mascots, he's our letterer on this book.
Oh, nice.
And he also did the typography on the cover. So I just wanted to
He
say,
nailed it. He definitely got that movie look really going nicely.
thank you. We jokingly rated this movie PG, which stands for pretty gnarly. The last cover, my friends, is courtesy of Mark Polton and Mike McMahon. They have a fun 90s retro character called U.S. Assassin. And so we got permission for us to use a collaboration of U.S. Assassin and his combat dog called Bazooka Dog together with our character. So you've got a wraparound cover with kind of a patriotic USA theme. And I really like the back cover where you can see the dog and the cat getting along and, you know, shooting tons of rounds into the enemy. So that's your 6 covers. We're about 40% funded in our first week. If you go to a campaign page, you can just kind of get more of a little taste of the different characters in the book. And this is all Bill Mouse's artwork, who's the primary artist. I did want to kind of show some of the stretch goals. We're already, unfortunately, the first 35 backers got this die cut cat sticker. So those are currently out right now, but we do have some cool, first, our $7,000 stretch goal would be the Beardzzerker guitar pick. Which,
it's funny.
Which I have,
By
yeah.
the way, Liam Nielsen's chin, he's found your radioactive, adolescent radioactive black belt hamsters masquerade Japanese invasion comic.
Oh, good.
There you go.
Those are fun. So, yeah, someday, when we have a little more time, I'd be happy to talk about hamsters. So there's a guitar pick at 7,000, satin bookmark, Rockstar satin bookmark at 8,000, and then that so on and so on. You'll get trading card sticker. But the thing that I really want to bring to UK people's attention is that I
love Michael in the fluffy in the pirate shirt. Tell me more. How did this happen?
Well, we just started tuning into Michael about 2 months ago, and my wife and I really liked him, and he had us on his show to promote Beardzzerker. We did our launch with him, and people tease him about his choice of apparel. They often say he looks like he's wearing a blouse. So my wife and I said, how appropriate would it be to send him a Seinfeld puffy pirate shirt? So we ordered one on Amazon Australia, and they sent it to him.
Hilarious.
And there he is, showing us his new wardrobe. And we basically said at 13,000, we'll get him another manly blouse.
I think that we have to get a 13 grand. I mean, it has to happen.
I remember when he posted this picture on Twitter when he received the pirate shirt. I remember the day that he went on his stream with the pirate shirt. And of course, recently he just put it, back on and showed us his hairy chest. But when did you tell him that you were behind this prank?
Well, I first of all, I DM'd him on Twitter and I said, could I get your address? I want to send you, some stuff.
Oh, that will give it away. Yeah, that gives away the element of surprise. That is true.
A little bit, because I was just wanting to send him some comics and stuff. I think that's what he was thinking. But our secret plan was to send him this blouse, which on Amazon, when we ordered it, it said men's shirt. But when he got it in real life, it said woman's. So kind of fun. It only took them probably a week and a half to get it to him. And timing was perfect because we were scheduled to launch Beardzzerker on his channel on April 1st, and he got it the day before. So he kind of made it a guessing game. He knew that I sent it to him, but he let everybody on Twitter kind of guess who it was. So it's like you've got your finger on the pulse of what's going on, so you can make fun jokes with it. Like, I remember the first time the blouse thing happened on Bancroft's, and it was like just a few weeks later you capitalize on it with the pirate shirt. It's very timely. It's well put out. It keeps it lighthearted and fun. I'm like, I really enjoy the contributions you make to the scene. They're always uplifting. Thanks, Nefarious. I'm having, I just felt like, Rabbi, I know you're a man of faith as well. I don't know where you stand, Nefarious, but I went into this business last year not knowing, if it was going to pay the bills or whatnot. I'm very blessed. I have a really good paying 9-to-5 job. And, when I saw Ethan's campaigns and, making 6 figures and whatnot, I thought, wow, if my other job ever came to a halt, I wonder if I could make it in comics. And so X-Farce was our first dipping our toe into the, into the crowdfunding pool, and it did okay. I mean, we made about 7,000, which kind of is a break even for us. But I was just struggling. I was saying, this is so much harder to market your books in the 2021 environment than it was in the 90s when you would just go through Diamond Distribution.
I find it easier now. I find it way easier now. Oh my God. Okay, it's easier here. Here's the thing. It's easier if you spend a year and a half building up your channel, right? That makes a huge difference. I didn't want to put that time in, right? I tried to make deals with other YouTubers, like I say, listen, I'll split things with you 50-50. I'll give you money up front. There's one YouTuber who was he's had a lot of subs now. He's like hundreds of thousands. And we're still friends, right? But I started with him as he was in his 10,000s, right? So I tried doing that. But I just made my own channel, and listen, everything is what my thing is. What does God want me to do next? So everything I go is like, eh. So I say clearly, this is what God wants me to do. He wants me to just do it on myself, build up my own channel. That's it.
Well, Don's got 1.9 thousand followers on his YouTube channel or subscribers, and his Twitter's not small by any means. So
my Twitter's
building that following definitely part of it.
I just think if you put, how often do you put out videos?
I don't do the little snippet videos like everybody says I should. I like to if I had more time, but I'm in real estate right now in the United States, and it is a real estate boom. And so I'm working to even say I got X-Farce out on time is just a miracle.
Listen, I hear it. I totally hear where you're coming from. But honestly, your books are fantastic. People know who you are. You've been around forever. I think I think it's weird that you're not like your books. This campaign isn't at 25K, straight off the bat. And there's got to be a reason for it. And my guess is if you have more of a you've got to develop a connection with your audience. That's really, again, I haven't seen your channel. Maybe you have, okay? But people don't buy anything because they want it. People buy something because they like you. I bought Cyberfrog because I like Ethan, right? And honestly, because I like Ethan, I'm excited he does the action figures. Right, I was like, I benefit from it zero because he's very, very good at creating connection. That's everything. That's it. And listen, you're an old school guy. You used to do it the way that normal people used to do it. But the world nowadays, you just need to connect with your audience, and if you do that, I think you'll work with. Listen. You should be very blessed with your real estate. Okay, this is a great thing. But if you ever wanted to do it, I don't think you would have any trouble.
Yeah, I
Rabbi,
totally.
You crank out content. You do. You have so much content. You put so much of your effort into your content and really keeping your audience satisfied. So I think it's a marriage of the two of those things that really creates success.
Yes. Yeah, you guys are awesome. I'm soaking all this in, all the marketing and the live streams, the short videos. I think you're right. And I have to remember, Ethan's been doing this for like a decade, and he built up his audience slowly. It didn't happen overnight.
Well, listen. There was a perfect storm of factors, right? Buying Cyberfrog. He was buying Cyberfrog and Jawbreakers. Everything that was an act of defiance against an outrageous, egregious assault, right? It was clearly a bigoted assault on all of them to try and destroy them, which is what went down. And so they were I don't think anyone that was happy they were in like that the crosshairs at that very moment. But if they were, you were buying the book wasn't buying because I want to buy a comic book. Buying the book was saying I love comics, right? And like what's going on with comics, and so they were lucky. So there's that going on. Ethan's very charming. Ethan is insanely charming and entertaining and fun to listen to. And he's an incredible salesman. Like, put all those things, and he has a decent product, right? Put all those together, and like, and also the good Lord blessed him, and he's making millions of dollars. But like, it's like the Beatles are the Beatles, but the Beatles weren't the Beatles if they wouldn't have like come together at the exact moment, at exact time.
Right.
And that's a lot of everything. That's a lot of everything.
I think I've learned to be content. I'm not going to sell $1 million on my campaigns yet, but I had a time where I actually felt like God said, Don, you're not Ethan, you're Don, and you're made different, but I want you to make people laugh again, and that's the mission that I want you to take on and to be content. And you've got, I've blessed you abundantly, and now I want you to go out and kind of bring that sense of humor that we lost, that we need. And there's no more Mad Magazine anymore.
Right. And here's the thing that makes me crazy. This might be an opening for you. Actually, this really might be an opening for you. There is no magazine. There's no satirical magazine that makes fun of all sides. And honestly, I think the time for that has passed now. I think the time for that was about 2 years ago. But if the magazine that came out and just made fun of the insanity of it, and there was so much to make fun of, right? It probably would have done. I mean, if Mad Magazine had embraced the insanity of every side, they would be selling 100,000 copies an issue. There'll be because there was such a thirst for it. I think the time has passed now. Sadly,
no one in the mainstream is going to do it. No one in the mainstream is going to commit the funds, the production costs, the time, energy, making the publication, because even though you want to make fun of both sides, it's going to be incredibly polarizing to both sides. People on each side are going to get offended. And the way that major companies are now, they stand on one side of an issue. They signal their allegiance to one particular, party or whatever. I don't really believe in party affiliations. I think individualization is much more important. Like you were saying, the world doesn't need another Ethan. The world needs a Don Chin. The world doesn't need another Don Chin. The world needs a Rabbi. And through all of our efforts, we shape the world in different ways. Our own individual perspectives contribute to a broader picture, a greater tapestry that makes it so much richer as an experience. But when it comes to corporations, they're not going to go in that direction. They don't stand for anything.
It's just tragic. There wasn't anybody. There's nobody with the independence of thought in any of the corporations that went, my God, we are losing. We are less. Well, we hate money. We're leaving all this money on the table, right? Again, Mad Magazine. If they had made fun of both sides, they think they could have done very well. But every issue was Alfred D. Newman as Donald Trump. Every issue. I mean,
that's why Saturday Night Live isn't funny anymore. Like,
exactly.
If they leaned into it a little bit here and then had different content, it would be fun. You get the little Trump segment, oh, haha, whatever, but then there's more variety in the show for you to enjoy. The fact that it's just the same thing monotonously over and over again to the point where they don't know how to be funny with it, I stopped watching. I used to love Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, me too. I
love parody.
After the election in 2016. It was just like, I made it for like about half a season. I was like, you make fun of one side, and your hatred isn't funny. Which is
that's the thing about Don's. Don's parody has no malice in it. That's the most important thing about satire. Even if you don't like the people and you're doing the satire to prove a point and show them their hypocrisy, to hold up a mirror in front of them and say, this is what you look like to us. This is not what you are, but this is how we hear you. Even if you're doing that, you do it without malice. You do it with lightheartedness, and you encourage people to participate in it. That's why I want to point at Don wearing the beard right now, at the fact that he's making it fun. And there's such a lack of fun. It's in the mainstream. It's all agenda. They forgot the fun. And that's why it's not working.
Tell me about the beard. Is the beard connected to the campaign?
It is. It is.
I was giving you a segue, mate. I was giving you a segue.
I wanted to bring this up. We have a couple tiers that you can actually get this beard. It's not one that I wore. Thankfully, it's clean. But you can get this either as an add-on for $7 if you buy any of our issues. But we also have what's called the Fear the Beard tier. Let me try to find that real quick. It's right here on the kind of the down by the she covers. But for $99 US, you're going to get all 6 issues. You're going to get, and they're signed. You're going to get the Beardzzerker MP3 album, which is called Kiss My Axe. And you're going to get a really cool Bill Mouse sketch card, which is pen and ink by Bill. And you're going to get this beard, and it's all $99. So
honestly, you're buying the beard. Everything else is commentary. Everything else is commentary. The beard is awesome.
And yeah, so you get a really fun beard that you can use as a COVID mask if you want, or as a toupee.
Our mask, our outdoor mask mandate is going away this week, apparently.
Oh, thank you, God.
I mean, they're probably going to keep it to after Independence Day, which is on, again, Wednesday or Thursday. But our mask mandate is an outdoor mask mandate. Indoors, you still need them. And here's the thing. They said that you can open cinemas, but you can't sell food because they don't want anybody eating in the cinema. And so there's no point in them opening because there's not enough. They don't make enough money. So
you make money off concessions. That's how you run a theater.
Exactly.
Theaters make money on concessions. That's why they're so expensive.
Exactly. Although, again, Israel, everybody always breaks rules. People go to concession stands. What happened to your?
I stopped sharing because I actually wanted to just give you a little pitch for X-Farce because we just got X-Farce printed. So it's our first campaign, and we're in demand right now. But we just got these books in, so we have X-Farce Reloaded available. You don't have to wait to get.
So wait a minute. What? Why don't do a tier where they can get Beardzzerker and X-Force?
He did.
Yeah, Beardzzerker is. We're currently in funding on that, which is on Indiegogo, and I bought the domain name. So just go to beardzzerker.com with the 2 Z's, and it'll go to the Indiegogo page. But X-Farce is xfarce.com. That was our first campaign that we started in January, Rabbi, and we said we would fulfill in April. So we kept our word, and I'm in the process of signing these books and.
But again, what we just offer people? But I see, look, I'm a first-time buyer, right?
Yes.
I would certainly go for a package where you just had one of each book, right? Or maybe do a compendium one where you get both stories in one. I'm just throwing them out there.
I created a tier because I was going to come on your show, so I took your.
Oh, there you go. Forget everything I said. Yeah.
So normally these are $25 a piece.
Right.
So it'd be $75 for the 3. But because of your generosity and Nefarious's invitation, I said let's give the fans a special package deal for $59.
See, you got 59 this time, and there's no number there, which I'm like, I'm not going to go for the 9 to get to the 5. Yeah, that's not me, mate. That's not me. Yeah, people out there who'll do strange things. I listen. I guess there's 3 issues of X-Farce in it. I could be talked around. Go ahead. Tell me about X-Farce.
Okay, so X-Farce is our X-Men anthology spoof. It's 48 pages, full color, no ads, and we basically have about 13 different creators working on this book, including Mike Barron. He wrote a story for us. Rob Willis is a very popular comic book artist. I'll show you his cover.
Another great guy to have in a book.
Very cool. I love it.
Yeah, and then you probably like this. This is one of my favorites. Is the throwback.
I love that. I do love that a lot.
And so that's by a guy named Mark Lewis, who was a Parody Press artist in the 90s, and he actually went to go work on the X-Men animated series after he worked for us. So he knows X-Men like the back of his hand. And he did all this typography. He made the book look like it's stressed. like it was sitting in your attic since the 1960s. And
again, I want to do the Superman books. I want to do something exactly like this.
good. So yeah, X-Force is in demand. We have mugs and lunch boxes, and
I like the lunchbox. I just looked at the lunchbox. They were really cool.
yeah, I think I've got one. Let me show you right here. We only made a few of these, so we only have like a print run of around 24.
Yeah, one second. Let me enlarge you. They think they're so cool. They really are. They're very cool.
And then we have a mug. So I'm gonna have to figure out worldwide shipping on these items because I don't have a tier set up for international. It kind of gets a little pricey.
Well, what I do is I do print on demand, bespoke printing on demand in different locations. Then I'm able to keep the shipping down.
That's really smart. That's
Very
so
smart.
smart. You have like per country, you find just a bespoke printer,
right?
So that you ship locally within that country. Rabbi, you're a godsend.
That's really smart, Rabbi.
And everywhere has a bespoke printing now. You I really should research more for my next campaign. But right now, you can have local shipping in UK, US, Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, and Canada. Right? I've tried it, and then I could probably do more places. It's just.
Now this is probably best for when you go in demand and you've done like the fulfillment of all the stretch goals and everything else. If you're in demand and people are just ordering the main book or like the basic tiers, because I imagine it would be kind of difficult to fit the pinups, the stickers, the posters, and all that other stuff through print on demand. Or do the manufacturers that you use actually do that stuff too?
Look, Maxim, you can print what it doesn't really print pay to print one, but they charge you the same amount to print 10 as they print one. But printing 10 is still viable, because you're saving $15-$20 on shipping. You're not charging that $40 international shipping is a killer.
Yeah,
it's a killer.
We ordered something the other day. It was a $15 item and the shipping was $19.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Very
That's
cool.
the big barrier to a lot of campaigns is the international shipping.
Yeah,
Right.
We backed X-Force. I love the lunchbox. It really inspired me, Don, to like look into how am I gonna do a tier that'll get all of my swag in one place and protect it for shipping. And the lunchbox actually seems to be a great way of doing that. Like with this, the mug, we've got a mug. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. We wanted to do a figure, like a little plastic 3D printed figure, but how are you going to fit that in a mailer? You can't. Our book is oversized. We can't use mailers anyway. So the idea of doing like a small packed box where the box is part of the tier, the metal ammo can in our case, that was what like really got us thinking about that too. That's the other fun thing about crowdfunding and the indie comic scene is that people are always doing fun stuff like this, taking their campaigns to the next level. Like with Beardzzerker, you did the MP3 album. It has a digital music companion. That's not very common in mainstream comics.
Yeah, what's the name? Was it Magic Cop 2 is doing the cup? I think that's really fun.
Yep, Magic Cup. Yeah, you've got Joe Catapano's Star Circuit and Gunship Thunder Punch. They both did synthwave albums. Catapano's now doing a little, light cycle figure for his book. Like everybody ups the ante. They raise the bar on their stuff, and it feels like it's so much more exciting to be part of that than to be like, oh, ho-hum, went to the comic shop, got my $5 floppy that's full of ads and all sorts of garbage. There's nothing exciting there. This is a lot more fun.
I just want to answer Maple Bob 23. What's really weird, a few movies later, was it not View to the Kill? Is it View to the Kill? Yeah, View to the Kill. You have Bond being really old, really, really old, and like you felt bad for him. It was like, and you had like the most contemporary young villains in Grace Jones and Christopher Walken. It's like there was a bit where Bond sleeps with Grace Jones, and you're like, you worry for him. Because he's like a 70-year-old man. Actually, View to the Kill is really good if you just imagine who was it? Roger Moore and Patrick McNee. They're both in that movie as two elderly eccentric gentlemen who think they're spies. Watch it that way, and it's hilarious. Oh, what's it? So Don, you're on a time. Was it time restraint, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, I thought I was going to have a more freer day for me, but I have some clients that want me to.
Okay, fine. Listen, before you go, let me show you my campaign. It's application tab. Like,
I had a great time, by the way. This is a fun.
Come back anytime. Fine. Rabbi for another round, comic book bonanza. These are two incredible comic books. Must say, I actually have more JPEGs. They're two incredible comic books. People have the lame have been able to walk after backing them. It's incredible. I will say, experiences can vary. So there's two comic books. We have was it The Imperium, which is a love letter to telefantasy of the 1960s. One second, I'm just trying to find. I should have opened up more. Here, that's the folder I wanted, and I go to this folder that says use this. And then I go to 1 second. Now I got to go to the preview window. Wait. It's one of these ones. It's oh no, I'm in the wrong folder still. Now I go to this folder. Aha! I found them. We go over here. Fine, we got two books. Biblical. I talk about biblical. It's 220 pages long. Bible stories of atheists, creators, rationalists, rogues. This is a book where you can read it. Hopefully, with any. There's no preaching or polemics. This is purely a story. I think it's a powerful story. I think it's an interesting story. It covers. It's somewhat epic. It has many things that you would recognize whether you're a religious or not. It stars the Raven from Noah's Ark. That's my favorite character. King Nimrod, who built the Tower of Babel. We have a guest appearance by young Asaph, who is Isaac's brother. But most half of the book is the book of Jonah. It all ties together in one seamless narrative. Again, that's the hope anyways. We got that book, 220 pages long, 105 pages long. We have the Imperium. If the image will ever shift. 1 second, I go over here. There you go, Imperium. A love letter to telefantasy in the 1960s. This is 105 pages long. It's basically everything I love about the 60s in one super group. You got James Bond, Patrick Troughton's Doctor Who, Emmett Till, the Black Slave from 2001, a monkey in a spacesuit, and lots of toilet paper. Everything wrapped together in one freaking awesome package. But wait, there's more. If you buy both books, you get a bunch of extras, right? The extras I'm pretty proud of. They're based on my 12-year-old. I say titillations. The first things that arouse me, and these are all genre related. The first one, of course, is a James Bond one, keeping the British end up. This is entirely. This is the last line from my favorite James Bond movie, The Spy Who Loved Me. Yes, indeed. And then we have Party Like It's 1999. You ever seen Space 1999, Don?
Yes, Martin Landau.
There you go. So you never saw this episode. This was only in my furtive and festive imagination. But they have nailed the background very well. This one is a sheer delight. This is Judge Anderson. Don't even think it's Citizen. But we're thinking it, Judge Anderson. We're thinking, no, don't think it. Oh, but you want me to think it, don't you? Yes, I do. Really, Judge Anderson? It's hard being a judge. I got to let myself go sometimes. Well, don't we all? Now, you know, this is my favorite one. And people say, that's sweet. You're a rabbi. These are a little bit dirty. That's true. But see, I will call these aggressively heterosexual because there is an assault on the holy institution of heterosexuality. I would like to fight against it in the only way I can. This is Perry. Perry was my favorite companion in Doctor Who in the 80s. This was actually a costume she wore. The title of this card is No Hanky Panky in the TARDIS. She wore this or spandex for most of the run. It was fantastic. Now, a little bit later, we have Star Trek Next Generation, but that's still part of my childhood. Councillor Troy here is this card is I'm sensing strong emotions, Captain. Councillor Troy, the environmental controls have clearly gone out of whack on the Enterprise. and she has to take all her clothes off. What can you do? A trooper, she's kept a Delta badge on so she can stay in communication at any given time. This is the latest one, and again, we're zooming in for it because it's absolutely wonderful. This is the Force is female. The Force is female. Indeed, it is. You see Princess Leia somewhat happy, somewhat relaxed, that she doesn't have the weight and the woes of the revolution on her head. Jabba the Hutt is like, yes, me and Jabba were in the same place. Bib Fortuna, no, is it Bib Fortuna?
Yes, Bib Fortuna.
Bib Fortuna, not that interested. But if we go down here, so he used to be Crumb. He's like, damn, I want to be part of that revolution. I want to be part of that revolution. The Force is female. If we hit $8,000, everyone's getting this poster. This is a A2 poster. That's 18 by 24. It's a big size poster. This is Doctor Who, of course. We call this one a Bohemian Time and Space. We have this as an add-on. We hit $12,000. Everyone's getting this poster as well. Same size. The eyes have it. And we have this one over here. Great Balls of Fire. A nice Poetry-esque one. We have a new one commission coming. It's going to be, we call it Forever Young. It's basically, sorry?
Is it Bill Clinton?
No. This is Doctor Who. If it was Bill Clinton, there'll be more stains.
Nope, it's Bill Clinton. It's Bill Clinton.
I mean, like, I guess so. Would you like a cigar? Yeah, here's my cigar box.
Don, I love it.
But President, that looks like your fly zipper. That's not a cigar box. I'm the president, baby. This is the John Pertwee Doctor Who. Ejaculate goes the Dalek. Have you ever seen Doctor Who?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. So
I knew it was Doctor. I knew it was Doctor Who. I was just.
There you go. But it could be. It could be. Yeah, Tom Baker over here is very surprised. Princess Leia is thinking, "What? Listen, I'm not taking a cigar from him." I do like that we call this the Force is female.
Very nice.
It's like reclaiming the N-word, right? You just got to reclaim this stuff. So there you go. What do you think of my campaign? Freaking awesome.
Very nice.
Thank you very much. Fine. Do you have to go, or do you have any more time?
Me or Nefarious?
Both of you.
Oh,
I've got time, but I think we should let Don go so that he can, go make money in real estate and afford to make more awesome comics.
That would be awesome.
Thanks, everyone. I had a great time, and I got a backer from the Rabbi pack.
Excellent. That's the name of the game, baby.
That was fun. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I would love to come back on and whenever you guys would like me to.
Sure. Listen, you're always welcome, baby.
Thank you. Thanks, Rabbi. Thanks, Nefarious. You guys have a great day.
Have a great week. I'll see you after the apocalypse.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Very good. Okay, fine. Let's have a quick peruse of the headlines, and you can tell me if there's anything I'm missing.
Oh, sure. Yeah, let's go right ahead.
Let's have a quick look. So we got fine. Actor Psycho Masakoi reveals.
Yeah, don't try. You're gonna butcher it.
Sorry.
I said don't. You're gonna butcher it.
Yeah, whoever he is.
Psycho. I don't know the last name. I can't.
Discriminates against the people on the right. Sorry.
I said I don't want to say it wrong and get in trouble, right?
Listen, I'm always in trouble. No, I don't recognize him. What's he been in? He's not really. I mean, listen, I agree with him, but it's hardly a revelation. Like, do you know? Have you heard of him before?
I'm looking him up right now.
Let's see if they say anything about him over here.
He was in Ratchet. Oh, he was in SWAT and in Lethal Weapon, the 2016 Lethal Weapon.
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, he was in Lethal Weapon, and he was in the movie SWAT. That's or the TV show SWAT. Looks like that's the only place
I agree with him, but you're not telling anything. It's like when they said, Hollywood has a casting couch. I'm like, really? Who knew?
Really, you know what this is? Like, you're right. There's no revelation here. We already know there's racism in Hollywood. I blame the article more than I blame the dude, because we didn't have to publish this headline. You know what I mean? We didn't have to take this interview and then put it on the internet. Take the interview.
I'm a big supporter of John Craig. Whatever he wants to do with his website, I 100% endorse. Tracy Thomas, you should make them. They are postcards. I'm actually going to make them postcards on the back. They're 100% going to be a postcards. That's a good point.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but again, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're telling me. That I'm fine.
Fair enough, right? Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, fair enough. Like, I don't know who you are. Thank you for your opinion, but you know, it's not a revelation.
We all clearly agree with. It's like, where were you? But again, I can't argue with you, mate. So Star Trek announces new film, doesn't provide any details. It's never happening. Go away. Do you think this is never going to happen?
I have a feeling that they're not going to let go of a franchise until they've milked every red cent that they can out of it. And Star Trek is in a bad spot right now. I don't know if you saw the headlines going around where there was the article about how the Star Trek universe really is communist, and if we learn anything from Star Trek, it is that communism is a better model.
I got the video about
so
that.
Yeah, like
I got to do a video about Go Indiana Jones. I've got there's a few.
Rabbi, if you try and talk about all of it, you're going to have too many videos, and your blood pressure is going to go through the roof.
Listen, the audience demands. The audience demands my outrage. I can but provide. Yeah. So Bo, did you ever hear what the plot details of the Tarantino one was?
No.
So essentially, do you ever remember that episode of A Piece of the Action?
No. Which one was it?
So they go to a planet where a starship had been. This is Kirk and Spock. Go to a planet.
Which series is this?
This is the original series.
Okay.
So they go to a planet where the starship had contacted them 100 years earlier, and they beam down, and everybody is like gangsters. And it turns out the starship left a gangster book behind, and they base their society. It was like this cultural contamination. So essentially, I think he wants to do a gangster movie, like I assume it'd be a Tarantino-esque gangster movie with Kirk and Spock. That's the idea.
Do it Guy Ritchie style. You might have a shot.
Listen, I honestly, I would do that as a standalone if they had any sense. But they don't. So there you go. Lucasfilm confirms new Indiana Jones movie will be woke with announcement of Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Listen, I have to tell you, I don't know. Here, Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Is the Indiana Jones IP still alive after Crystal Skull? Didn't they kill this thing? Didn't Dan Aykroyd go and make vodka out of Crystal Skull bottles on the heels of that movie? And there was just Indiana Jones isn't coming back. So why are they trying to resurrect it with a woke message? The franchise doesn't have the legs to stand on. Look, you take Star Wars, which is a great franchise, has lots of fans, is active. You take that over, cannibalize it, surreptitiously infiltrate it, spread your woke propaganda nonsense, and it dies because you latch on like a parasite. Indiana Jones isn't alive enough to latch on to. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is bad play on their part.
They know it's dead. Here's my question though: is Phoebe Waller-Bridge the sign of a woke apocalypse? So maybe she's certainly a feminist. Solo was awful, and she was in Solo. And she's been brought in as a consultant, as a woke consultant on the new James Bond movie, but I haven't seen it yet. That movie will confirm if her involvement is the like the wokeness of it. But who knows? Like for me, the jury's still out. I think it probably will be, but the jury's still out. So apparently, Justice League writer Chris Terrio is open season on Joss Whedon. Who cares? Let me be.
Open season on Joss Whedon since Michelle Trachtenberg came out and accused him of inappropriately engaging with her on the set of Buffy. And then one by one, all of the former castmates of her on Buffy kind of like put their support behind Michelle Trachtenberg, and all of this new revelation about Joss Whedon came into the limelight. Honestly, I thought that went away, but apparently now they're bringing it back with
Joss Whedon's
Justice League.
Joss Whedon is toast.
Oh man, his career hasn't been doing well after Justice League anyway, though. So maybe he'll go away and come back. Honestly, it's the same thing. Like, I loved Joss Whedon when I was younger. I loved Warren Ellis when I was younger. And in recent years, people have come out to just sort of character assassinate these guys. And it's taken their entire volume of work, all of the great stuff that they've done, and cast it in this shadow of controversy. Right. And made it less enjoyable for those of us who just want to enjoy the product. Separate the art from the artist. But it's the same. It's the same situation. Look, he did Avengers. Without Joss Whedon's Avengers, we wouldn't have the MCU. Robert Downey Jr. did Iron Man. That's what set it up. Then Joss Whedon did Avengers, and that's how we got all of these other movies. Without that contribution, we wouldn't have had this. So
I know. Also, again, I was talking to somebody about the day about why superheroes work, and superhero work because they show genuine heroism. And I think that the Phase 1 really did, and they don't do that anymore. There was that great scene at the end of the first Avengers movie where they beat off the first wave of bad guys, and then they get this whole massive second wave, and they just go, and that's when they all circle up, right? And you're like, okay, that's just cool. That is heroism, right? So I do get the feeling that Joss Whedon is a very talented guy, and I do like Buffy. I like Firefly. I like his work generally. I do get the feeling he's a massive arsehole, right? I get the feeling he's a massive arsehole.
No, absolutely. He's definitely a massive asshole. He's not Keanu Reeves. The best part of the first movie in Avengers was how they had the dichotomy between Steve Rogers, Captain America, who is a hero, and Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, who is a billionaire genius playboy philanthropist, but nowhere in there is hero listed. And Tony learns from Cap. That's the scene where he brings the nuke into space and blows that up. That's the learning of self-sacrifice. It was Joseph Campbell who wrote the Power of Myth and examined the hero's journey. He says a hero is someone who devotes his life to something greater than himself, who gives his life. And so we see Iron Man become a hero in that movie at the end, where he sacrifices his life to deliver the nuclear weapon. Right. They're going to nuke New York City, and he saves all the people, and he kills the aliens instead. And of course, that fear plagues him over the course of the next Iron Man movies. So I thought that was really well done, and that shows that Joss Whedon knows what he's doing when he's directing. He knows what a hero is.
He's not talented. He's absolutely a talented guy, but again,
he gave us a movie with the type of hero that everyone needs to understand what heroism is by looking at that movie. It's a modern myth following Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, which is the same heroism inspired by Star Wars, all of that. Like, he's a perfect example of the type of stuff we want. And then, of course, they go after him, they tear him down, they accuse him of being a sexual deviant and a pedophile and whatever else they attacked him with, inappropriate sexual conduct. You got to use that to try and take down someone who has the reach that Joss Whedon does to deliver the message that Joss Whedon is going to deliver, which is what heroism needs to be. They're killing heroism by killing him. Do you follow me?
Right. By the way, listen, I don't know what was it? Petey Rich just saw us on the chat. YouTubers leave the likes. Look, Dan tweeted today that he lost 10 viewers. 10 subscribers right now. Look, the purge is here. The purge is here. It's going on quietly. It's going subtly. I'm working twice as hard to stand still, like not to lose. I am. There's just the way it is. The YouTube will be treating us differently. We have no control. We have no control. It's just the way it is. But there you go. Petey Rich, you're right. The Rabbi is a great human being. Android will have faith in him. Thanks for reminding me. Who's that? Who's Android? I don't know. But I'm a great human Android. Will have faith in. Okay. I agree with you. Fine. So we see Instagram being douchebags to Gina Carano. They're labeling her stuff seditious or whatever. God, just shut up. Superman and Lois, freaking awesome. Do you like Superman and Lois?
I liked you mean the old TV show?
No, this is the current one going on right now.
I don't watch it.
Oh, it's worth watching. Surprisingly good. Surprisingly very, very good.
I don't watch superhero TV shows in general. I was into Arrow, and then I got into Flash, and then it just started going downhill, and I could see the roller coaster descending into the ocean. So I got off. I was like, all right, I'm done. I don't need Batwoman. I don't need Supergirl. I don't need all the rest of this CW garbage. I don't need what they're doing with the DC television universe. I don't need any of that. So I'm the type of person.
I was into the Arrowverse, and I got off at Crisis, and I never watched Supergirl.
That was it. It was Crisis.
I was not interested in any way, shape, or form. Then the first couple of episodes got good reviews. I said, you know what, I'll check it out. I was genuinely surprised. Surprised.
All right.
Fine. So 2 stories I've got no interest in. I'll check this out. Eric July, perfect same way. The current superhero. The problem is Hollywood superhero movies. Fine. Council on Islamic American Relation issues are called to deplatform 6 days in Fallujah. Claims the game is an Arab murder simulator. Look, they were kind of the bad guys there. Don't know what to tell you. Okay, and then
it's funny how we used to have in this country a puritanical assault on video games. We used to hear video games cause violence. Before that, it was Dungeons and Dragons is satanic. You know, we've had rock and roll and heavy metal music make kids evil. We've had these puritanical assaults on media in the past, and the people who've stood for the First Amendment, who've stood for freedom of expression, who stood against this whole video games make kids violence are the ones that are now perpetrating this nonsense because of, the woke agenda or political correctness. We've learned that video games don't influence people's physical actions in the real world. It's fantasy.
No, they do not.
So trying to censor it in media isn't going to do anything for the type of agenda they want to achieve. It's complete nonsense. They're just doing it because it's popular. It's posturing. That's all it is.
Yeah, well, it's very easy posturing as well. So finally, listen, now we're back to Friday's story. Entering this one, DC EU Justice League 2 return featuring members from across the DC cinematic universe. This sounds like this will make sense and is a good idea. So I doubt it.
Well, I mean, they could succeed. It does depend upon what characters, right? DC's got some good characters, and then they've got some awful characters.
It seems to me that the Warner Brothers and AT&T do not see eye to eye. Warner Brothers really likes the JJ DC verse, the Black Superman, Black everything. Like, I love this whole thing that just blew up about. What's his name? Ray Fisher. He just came out of Jeff Johns because Jeff Johns said it'll be kind of weird to have Zod's family all black and also Superman's family all black. It just would be a bit. And like he's been cancelled. He's out of Hollywood now, I think, because of this, right?
What irritates me about all of that is so what are we doing with it? We've changed the colors of the characters. Does that tell a new story? That doesn't tell a new story. Does that include new fans? No, we don't get new fans. Oh, Superman's black now. Now I'll like Superman. That's not what's going to happen. You're not going to have a whole new market open up just because you change the color of a skin. You got to make new stories and good stories that appeal to lots of different people. And they're failing to seize upon that formula for modern media, which is why it all stinks.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, it's So from what I can see is AT&T kind of likes to make money. Warner Brothers wants to live off, have so much money they just want virtue signals. That's basically what they're living off. Fine. I think I am acclimated once again for the week. I am once again able to function.
You've caught up. Okay.
I've caught up. This has been very good. Thank you for joining me. Do you have a campaign? With that?
I do have a campaign. I have a campaign called Maverick. Sure, we can share it. I set up a little PowerPoint for you today to take you through some of the characters and stuff. If you want.
Ahead.
Let me bring it up here and first share my screen.
Hell, who knew the salt must flow? Hell to you, sir.
Where is the PowerPoint? Share.
So you go to share screen.
Yeah, I went to share screen. Application window, but I don't see the PowerPoint. Button container. I'm going to go to button container. I don't know what that is.
There you go. It is add.
You can make sure
you have the concept.
Can you see it?
I can see a blank square.
What about now? No, that's not it. So I don't know how this is working. Wife, come fix. I'm calling in technical support.
Well, again, I'm glad you're helicoptering people in. There we go. Okay, it's gone. Hopefully, we'll be back in a minute.
Screen, application window. There's just pages, JPEGs, and button container. So I
make sure that the PowerPoint program is not minimized to nothing.
Exactly. I was just going to.
There it is. That's what it was. All right. Okay. Here we go. Share. Add that up.
There you go. Perfect.
So put that up on the screen. This is our main character, and I brought this for you today, Rabbi, because I thought that you would definitely appreciate her. This is Teresa Mayweather. Her code name is Mother. This is a piece that was done by Garrett. You know Garrett. You met him on the show.
He was actually doing the colors.
Actually working on this.
When I was on stream with you.
It's still not finished. He's still, got a whole bunch of work to do on it, but I thought I'd, bring it on the show and show it off a little bit. Here's some early work that we did on her, conceiving her. Like the idea originally was sort of a take on Charlize Theron.
Right.
We kind of like the look and the short, scruffy blonde hair. She's a military pilot. She's a Maverick pilot, which means she is a mecha pilot, I guess you could say. The Mavs in this world, they're massive anthropomorphic vehicles. So they're just really 25 foot tall, 70 tons of badass. This is one of her pinups that was just an original piece Garrett was messing around with. She's got tattoos everywhere, so hopefully you like that. This is a sketch that we played. This is all early concept art. None of this is in the book. This is just stuff from the original.
Well, that's very cool. It gives you the feeling what's going on with it.
Right. This is an actual page from the draft that we're working with right now. She's in the weight room hanging out with her friend Boyd Harrison, who is a direct action specialist, which means his job is to go in and shoot stuff. She's a squad leader, so she actually achieves mission objectives and leads people on tasks. So like if they have to go recon an area, she's in charge of the team that goes and does that. And he just kind of gets in his mech and walks around and kills things.
I tell you what, it's a shame it never took off, but there was a brief experimentation with VR that went on over the last few years. My wife, a couple of years ago, got me a VR headset for my PlayStation 4. There was a cool mech game, I think, that came with it, or she got for me, where you pilot a mech. It's like a sports arena, but it's really cool. They should have made it like a battle game. Have you ever played that?
I don't know if I've played that one. I have played VR mech games, and I'm a huge mech game aficionado. Honestly, like mechs are one of my favorite things in sci-fi. I love Mech Warrior. I love BattleTech. I love Gundam. All of it.
Okay, best photorealistic representation of a mech in a movie. What do you think?
Most authentic or most cool? Because photorealistic would have to be Avatar.
We'll go for both.
Well, so most realistic, like most doable, would be the powered exoskeleton in Avatar that they used to fight the big blue
Yes,
monsters
yeah,
on the planet.
absolutely.
That is quite possibly, like, looking at it, that is the most they call it speculative fiction, which is what my book is. It is the most plausibly designed thing that you could see coming out in like the next 10 years.
Right. By the way, I just
you
thought
also
that
see.
game was
I don't remember if you saw the movie Sucker Punch. It was terrible, but it was billed as just like a big old music video featuring a hot blonde chick doing martial arts and having ninja swords and stuff. There's a mecha in there, a little bunny mecha, and it's actually well proportioned for the pilot to be able to fly it. It has like a 60 Mike machine gun and a couple of rockets, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. I don't know if it's really practical, but it was certainly very cool looking. The only thing is that it had booster jets that took it way too high up in the air, because if it fell from that height, it would just crash and splatter all over the pavement. So, other than that, let me think.
I think that's a pretty good game. Yeah.
Let me show you. This is her leaving her workout, getting undressed and taking a shower in the squad room, and I'm going to leave her there because I don't want to step too much on your gag, which is scantily clad women in comic books. So I don't want to. We'll just take a look at the robots.
I'm happy with as many people want to do it as possible.
So this is her mech. It's her MAV, her massive anthropomorphic vehicle robotic integration combat suit. And so you can see the little front there is it's like a shield that lifts up. She's inside there, and it's VR on the inside. So there are no actual windows on this. There's no way to look inside. That's the current version. So this was concept art. This is current execution. You can see Garrett's colors are a lot better. The effects are really nice. This is actually leaning more towards a finished page. Once again, this is the current draft that we're working with. It's the first round edits. We still have one more round of edits to go. This is what the rough draft looked like from inside the cockpit. On the top, you can see she's in the right-hand corner. Her screen and everything is translucent, so she's looking down at her right hand, which is she can actually see the mech from the inside, from the interior of the cockpit. That's what it looks like currently, so that you can see it's, in my opinion, a better position, having her in the center so she has her vid screens around her to talk to her other squad mates. She can see her gun on the left, her hand on the right, and she can see the whole environment. We're kind of trying to give a feel for what the interiors of the MAV would be. This was an original sort of thumbnail that Garrett was working on of the team composition. From left to right, you've got Mother. Then you've got the small blue one is called Cold Shoulder. It's the sniper on the team. Behind her, you've got the really big green one. That one's called Bigfoot. It's heavy artillery. Next in line is the assault mech. It's black. It's called Ripper. He actually has a chain gun, but all of these guys have secondary melee weapons built into their weapon systems. I haven't shown off the weapon systems yet because that's one of the things I think is the coolest about these things, the way that we've designed the technology. So I'm trying to keep as much of it under wraps as I can. The beige one is called Jester. He's actually their recon specialist. Up on his left shoulder, he's got a hangar full of little drones that he deploys to scout around the battlefield with different optics like thermal and motion and UV ways to just scan his environment. And then all the way on the right, you've got that sort of orange looking one, and he's their quick engagement mech. It's called Hotshot, and he uses small arms, 2 submachine guns primarily, and he's all hit and run tactics, guerrilla warfare. So each of these guys is kind of like a specialist on the team. This is what the current team picture is looking like right now. You can see Ripper on the left. He's got a little bit more of a detail to the cockpit with a little claw marks. You don't really get a good shot of Cold Shoulder or Jester in the background, but no shot is really perfect. We're going to be giving a better view of those in the future, but this is kind of the thumbnail we're using instead of this one. This one's very washed out. Garrett didn't like the colors, so we went back, revised it, came out with this. The thing is, I think
it's a bit more distinct. I can see what more was going on with it.
Like this is the rough draft, This was the first pass that we made. We sent it to the editor. The editor gave the feedback. One of the big feedbacks that we got was the colors are a little muddy. It's a little dark.
So who's publishing this book then?
We are.
Oh, so you bought an editor in? That's really cool.
We brought in an editor. His name is Jake Thomas. He works at Marvel Comics.
All right.
This was during the whole pencils down thing when everyone got laid off. So
right.
Jake did, he wasn't really actively working. He's been on a bunch of things. If you look up his name and look him up on Marvel, he's worked on numerous books, including Deadpool and Spider-Woman and New Mutants and a bunch of other cool stuff. So he knows what he's talking about as far as visual and visual storytelling and dialogue.
Right.
So he's pretty solid. The feedback that he gave, I think, really improved the book from where it was then to where it is now. So that's just kind of a quick glimpse at all of that. Let me real quick close this and bring up the campaign.
By the way, the that mech game I was talking about was called Rigs.
Rigs. I've never played it. Now I'm gonna have to go look it up though.
It was okay. I mean, again, you if you're in a mech game, you want to be playing like a combat game.
All right, I had to open that up, and there we go. Oh shit!
There you go.
So this is the campaign.
Doink.
So if you sign up, you're going to get a free exclusive pre-launch sticker. We've also got a giveaway going on right now. We are 12 away from hitting our 100 signups mark. And real quick, if you want to minimize and just show me on the screen real quick.
There you
this is one of the pieces that you're going to get in the giveaway. This is the
cool.
thumbnail from the campaign on a really cool mug. It comes with a limited edition bag of coffee beans called Drink Coffee, Destroy Everything. So we actually included a limited edition coffee with it. The first prize is a hoodie. It has the Mavericks logo on the breast, the company logo on the shoulder, and that same graphic on the back, all the way across the back. It's really cool looking. And then third prize is a t-shirt. So we've got a first, a second, and a third place for people in the first 100 signups. So, I mean, your odds are pretty good. I don't know why we're not at 100 yet. I guess it's just because I'm not advertising enough. So we need to get that to 100 signups. We need 12 more people. So the pitch on this is that in our world, a series of global catastrophes dubbed the Cascade have changed the world as we know it. So, you're talking about like the end of the world. Well, this started off with an earthquake, but, no airplanes and snakes, and Lenny Bruce is already dead, so we don't have him around to not be afraid. We see a whole series of volcanic eruptions under the ocean. The Ring of Fire is kind of where I figure things are really going to go bad. So California gets the brunt of it. Japan gets hit pretty hard. And in the wake of all of this ecological change, wars break out because geopolitics gets disrupted. The global economy suffers a catastrophic, crash. You've got all of these countries that we have now trying to learn to adapt to these new circumstances in order to survive. The main conflict is between two global superpowers. One is the Northern Continental Alliance, also known as NORCA, which is effectively the US, Canada, Mexico coalition. It's that one continent. And the other superpower is called the Unification of Zhongguo. And Zhongguo means Middle Kingdom in Chinese. It's actually what the Chinese used to use to refer to the land during the Warring States period and the other dynastic periods in China prior to the rise of of Mao and the communist state. So the idea behind this is the unification wants to expand and reclaim other territories on the Asiatic the continent of Asia that they used to have. So they believe that expansionism is the way to do that, and taking over more and more land will give them more stability in their region. They're going to conquer and provide the safety net that comes along with their rulership. So with the breakdown of geopolitics and international trade, the unification consolidates its power, embarks on a campaign of territorial expansion, and attempts to reunite all of China's former lands under centralized leadership. But of course, the rest of the world isn't having that, especially since it isn't clear just how far the unification intends to expand after it invades all of Mongolia, Korea, Tibet, and Taiwan. Which, I mean, isn't outside of the realm of possibility given today's current circumstances, right? You know, we're looking at China being a major economic player.
Well, I think China's pretty much won. Right. I think yes.
So in the interests in the future, were there a global catastrophe that kind of laid low international markets and global trade and brought a breakdown to geopolitics, China would be in a very good position to kind of dominate their surrounding territories. They'd be able to expand pretty much unchecked, but that threatens other countries, of course. And since we don't want to allow that to happen too much, the unification captures much of the areas with this new hardware, this new military technology, these massive anthropomorphic vehicles. They dominate a variety of battlefields, from dense urban centers to desolate mountain ranges, forests, and deserts. It's their versatility, really, that allows them such unparalleled performance in combat. And the fact that they only require a single pilot makes them a desirable asset. The problem with MAVs is that they have a very high degree of energy consumption, and traditional fossil fuels just don't cut it. And the fuel cells that they use currently in the Generation 2 Mavericks, which is the one you see on the right-hand side of the screen, that's Mothers. That's a Gen 2 MAV. On the upper left-hand side of the screen, that's a Gen 1 MAV. Gen 1s are significantly lower performing compared to Gen 2 MAVs. Gen 2 MAVs are directly tied into the neural system, the neurological system of the pilot, through a series of EEG helmet attachments. Like I said, I don't want to go too deep into the technology, but it's very it's speculative science fiction. We're right on the cusp of it right now. It's stuff that you could see happen were we able to gaze 50 years into the future. So in order to push MAVs beyond the boundary that they're at right now, since fossil fuel doesn't cut it and their fuel cells don't last forever, they though they rule the schoolyard of modern warfare, they can't be deployed on extended campaigns without some form of continuous resupply, either through airdrops or having a base nearby for them to recharge at. So the next step that we're looking at in the development of MAVs is a fully self-contained unit that can be deployed into the field and then does not need support. And were you able to do that, you could deploy MAVs all over the world and then just watch the carnage unfold. You wouldn't have to have an army.
Well, I get it. Yeah, it's obvious why these things would be so so popular. They're okay with any terrain. They're highly armored. This is the perfect thing that anybody want in the military. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So now the book takes place in the skeletal remains of the capital of Mongolia. It's called the city of Ulaanbaatar. And 6 brave pilots led by Teresa, Mother, engage in a secret mission that might bring about the end game to this war by cornering this new technology. But the mystery is really who's calling the shots, and do the people who are in charge of this mission know that perhaps the weapons have been deployed with a different purpose in mind? So the setup is they're going in there to rescue some refugees that are in the ruins, that have made their way to the ruins for exfiltration. And the refugees carry with them a secret that could win them the war. But it's not going to be so easy to exfiltrate, if you catch it. So the main conflict of the book takes place in skeletal ruins in the snow. Yeah, I don't want to explain the whole plot, but
exactly. As a writer, it's exciting. Yeah, listen, it's exciting. So I just signed up the mailing list. I recommend everybody. I really did actually. I recommend everybody to do this. So you got what?
Well,
so
you know, we were at 86. Now we should be at 87.
Right. So there you go. I recommend everybody does this. I think I'm going to have to wrap up. It's 11 o'clock for me. It's coming up to my bedtime. And I'm a bit peckish.
Did you get to eat? Did you get to eat yet? I saw your show earlier, and I heard that you were saying all of the food smelled so good. Did you get a chance to eat?
Oh no, I recorded that on Friday.
Did you release that one today though? I thought that was released today.
I recorded it on Friday, so I started it being cooked. I was like, oh my god, yeah, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Yeah, again, we're working out a menu for Independence Day. That's gonna be freaking awesome. Like, we're going to be smoking ribs and kebabs. Oh man, it sounds awesome. Fine, I'm hungry. I'm going to wrap up. Everybody, like, share, subscribe. If you please make sure you're still subscribed. Again, I'm working twice as hard to stand still. So if you can help me out, but the algorithm's got been a bit funky tonight. I'm going to hit the end broadcast button. I'm kind of happy now. They have the "Are you sure" button because I hit the wrong button one time. And it's and I just started the stream, and then instead of adding myself to the stream, I nearly entered the broadcast. So I'm glad they have the "Are you sure" button. And please, everybody, go sign up for Mavericks. Go check out Don Chin's
Beardzzerker
campaigns. And everybody, have yourselves a fantastic